Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we're taking a look at the 1995 Acura Integra Type R, one of several Acura Integras we've got to take a look at during the course of this series. They are numerous and several of them have been added with the Gran Turismo 2 Plus mod. Thanks to that mod, that's also why today we're taking a look at the 95 one, and we've still got the Honda Integras as well, so lots of Integras are going to be taking on this course over the coming months. The Acura Integras, I've got to admit, these aren't massively interesting, other than the fact you can buy them all from the dealership, which is nice. But on the whole, they all have exactly the same racing modifications, single option, single colour. So a lot of these won't be running racing mod, but the quickest ones will be. This should be one of the quicker ones though. The front engine front wheel drive, 368 horsepower, 1,113 kilos of weight. Good figures for a front wheel drive car, and of course it makes no torque because it's a Honda. Despite that though, it does have the turbo upgrade, so this should actually be a very, very quick indeed front wheel drive car. We'll find out as it gets 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the TVR Server LM Edition 28.620. Integra unlikely to beat that. Integra Mitsubishi Eclipse 30.253. I think that's where this should be aiming. The Eclipse made a lot more power than this. It was 413 horsepower in that Eclipse, I believe. And the Eclipse did have racing modifications, so this should be not quite as quick as that, but it should still be up there. And I think as these Integras, as more of them go around, especially the race modded ones, these should be pretty darn quick indeed. There is the option of these on natural aspiration tuning or turbo tuning. It's all worked out and split how that's all going to work, so don't worry too much about that. It's quite fun being able to drive the Acura Integras around here, because these are, you know, obviously forbidden fruit for us European players, with the weird front headlights, which curiously in the UK is actually how we got our Integras. We didn't have the block light DC2s, we had these sort of rounded lights, and they look especially tragic in UK spec, so I don't know. I mean, I suppose they just didn't want to like overly confuse players with the Integras. They wanted, like, right, we got the Japanese market in Integras in the game. It might also have been, actually thinking about this, it might have been a case of the Integras in this game might have actually been before they started getting officially imported into the UK, because some of them have ended up as official UK imports. A lot of them are Japanese, but for the most part they were official UK imports, so yeah, not really sure on the whole history of that, but we did get the sort of weird bug eye as opposed to the straight light standard Integra, so I don't really know what they were going for with this sort of spotlight look. I'm not a huge fan of it, I'll be honest. It reminds me quite a bit of a sort of GT4 Celica, but not done as well, because it doesn't really fit the rest of the boxy appearance of the Integra. We'll get a bit of a run up here and then we'll see what sort of time we can set. 30.857 so far isn't bad. It's slower than the Civic though. Admittedly, I don't think this handles nearly as nice as the Civic. It's a little bit slidey. Lots of lift-off overs there. It actually reminds me quite a bit of the Peugeot 306 we had go round, the S16, because that was very sort of lift-off oversteer everywhere. This seems to be handling pretty darn similar, it does have to be said, but we can definitely try and eke out a little bit more on this. Like I said, plenty of Integras to come, so if this one doesn't do particularly well, do not fret, because there are many, many more of these to come around the track. 30.722. It is quicker than the Civic, just about, but yeah, the handling on that one, not quite as nice as the Civic, I do have to admit. It also doesn't feel all that powerful. 368 horsepower front wheel drive car. It doesn't feel like it's got 368 horsepower, but it wasn't bad. I love the attempt at the Acura badge on the front. I should also mention, actually, quickly, the 95 Acura Integra not a real car. We matched Sector 1 times, that's cool. Yeah, maybe there's 0.2 in there, but there's 0.2 in everything, as I usually say. But yeah, the Acura Integra Type R, not a real car at this time. The Acura Integra Type R didn't come out until 2001. So, there's a fun fact for you. Anyways, what was it again? 30.722? 30.722 will plop it into 14th place. It goes very marginally quicker than the Honda Civic, quicker than a Fiat Barchetta. For a front-wheel drive car, it is the second quickest we've had, apart from the Eclipse, but yeah, it just doesn't quite drive as nice as the Eclipse, and it doesn't quite have the raw brute power that Eclipse had. But with racing modification on some of these Integras, I do think they're going to turn out to be mighty quick, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Anyways, that's it for this edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. Do hope you've enjoyed, and join me next time when I will be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.